Howdy folks, welcome back to Out of Ore. I've got the plant shut down and today we're going to work on some scaffolding, some reinforcement, just making this a little easier to get around. So as you can see on my hotbar, I got some stairs and whatnot bought, so let's hop into it. I was up here so I could take a nice little screenshot. So let's go over here and make this look like it's not floating in the air quite so much. So we need to be about there. I mean, I know this doesn't touch, but if you squint real hard, it looks like it's not hovering in midair. Let's go up there, perhaps. Something like that. Actually, if we smooth this out, does that help? Yeah, there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just like it to look like it's, you know, not quite hovering in midair. At least it has some support. Does this go over? That does go over that, which makes it a little tricky. Because this does not like to snap to the bottom. I think we can do this and then that. There we go. That, and that looks kind of dumb, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll just stand back and squint a little bit. Yeah, throw some support under there. Makes it look a little less awful. But one thing I need is some catwalk. Get around here a little better. So I've kind of had the board on there, which works pretty well. Wonder, should it go ahead and out there? That kind of covers that up. Just hop on top of the moving trommel. That's normal, right? Can I do that, and then that, and then if we get rid of this because it's sticking into the machine a little bit. It gives a little bit of a platform out here. I wanted to see if I could do something with this. Did I end up buying the wood floor? I didn't. I was wondering if this would match the slope of the floor. Oh no, it's actually called roof. Wood roof. Let me just buy one of those. No, it's steeper. All right. Now we know. Yeah, guess we'll keep that for a rainy day. So I would like to be able to get down to here without jumping, you know, 15 feet in the air, because that looks kind of goofy. Sorry, had a massive sneeze. It's wintertime yet? I'm ready to get rid of all this pollen. St. Louis, allergy capital of the nation. I'm actually recording this early in the morning. I got up at 6. I'm like, yeah, I'll go for a nice walk, you know, get back in that habit. And it's a thunderstorm, naturally. That's okay. I did a little bit of weights, just to get the heart rate up. And recording before 7 a.m. Woo! For a night owl, that's doing pretty good. I meant to do this off camera, I just never got around to it. Do I have my white paint on me? I don't. I think I still have some white paint. I may have to just tear this up and get some of the ground out from underneath it. So this doesn't make like a bad walkway necessarily. It just looks kind of weird because you don't actually have a place to walk. And this actually doesn't snap to that, does it? It kind of fits there, but it doesn't actually snap. Huh. Interesting. What if I did that and then that? There we go. Aha! We tricked it. I can do the same up here. That and that. So we could kind of come back here and walk down. I don't know if we'd necessarily come that direction, but let's do that and then knock a little bit of this dirt back. Yeah, that's plausible. And then that will snap to that. Perfect. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with steel for this part. And we can go back to wood, I think. Oh, I'm back on grid build. I need to go to snap. So I should probably turn my light on. Sometimes YouTube makes it hard to see. Flatten that out a little bit. We got a little extra material over here. So we just knock that back and then smooth it again. There we go. I mean, that's not terrible. I'm getting a little low on wood flooring, but we could even come over like this. Kind of just even that out. Now if I put a... Yeah, that goes through the wood, doesn't it? Then I can't reach the thing to turn it on. Alrighty. Well, that's a way to get down. What if we look over here? I thought about making a way to go down here as well. So let's do that. Oh, it does snap to that. Does that snap to that? It did snap to that. Why wouldn't it snap to the other flat pieces? That's weird. Huh. And if we go back to grid build. All right, let's get some stairs in here. Like that and like that. Interesting. Yeah, snap often won't snap to the top of something, but it'll snap to the side. Then you're at least a level up. We need to come over some. Then we can come down another level, and then we're just over there. And that worked even though I wasn't on grid, because it snapped to the other block. So that is fine. There we go. Now we at least have a somewhat plausible way to get down there. Rather than jumping. I kind of want to paint these a different color than red, so I'll have to figure that out. So we got our coal in there. So we'll throw that. Cool. So that's that. We really probably ought to get some coal going, because we're going to need a lot of coal as we pull all that iron out of the ground. So I might spend the rest of the video just running the wheel loader. I don't think we've done that for a little bit. Put that in there. Just firing back up. I don't actually have any coal in there, so let's get some coal. I've got my stash over there in the storage. We need some more. Okay, fire up the L11 and get to work. We have a little bit of coal here. Let's see how far this goes. It's getting a little bumpy over here. Yeah, I think that was just a little bit of dropped coal, maybe. Might be time to run the compactor over here. I don't think this is necessarily a coal deposit. But we'll look. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is a little one. It goes below the surface. Thought maybe it was just some surface coal from getting dumped from the side of the big deposit. Does seem to go down a little bit though. Oh yeah, looks like we're getting back into a little bit of coal. Oh, easy there, Tiger. And while I can see it, there's a little blob right here. Get rid of that before it becomes a problem. That would probably be computationally expensive, but it'd be nice if little things like that would just like fall, you know. If you couldn't have free-floating voxels. But sometimes things like that can be expensive on the CPU. Depending on, you know, how much you have to traverse and whatnot. That's the thing with programming. Sometimes things that are easy for humans is really hard for computers, and vice versa. Things that are really hard for humans are super easy for computers. So a human can just look and say, oh, there's a thing floating there, but the computer doesn't know what floating there means. So you have to define that and then figuring out, you know, I don't know how they're doing the voxel calculations. That's not something I've really done, so I don't have much experience with it. But I would imagine it's a lot like a graph where you have to check neighbors and what, you know, see what's connected, what's not connected to the ground. But I don't really know. I don't have access to their code, obviously. I've done just enough programming to be dangerous. Cool, we got the money rolling in as the dirt sells. Something I also need to test also is the, do we make any money with tailings? Let's do that real quick. I need a sell point. Also, we'll throw that little piece of pay dirt in there. I don't think I have another sell point. Let's set that up for the... I wanted to check for the tailings, actually. I guess I could reposition the coal sell point real quick. I was thinking I had a chute in here. Yeah, there's a chute. I think we're done with this stuff for now. I'll leave this in here because we'll definitely be back in the mine. So we have the chute. We might possibly need an up. And then we're not selling coal at the moment, so I can just borrow the sell point. I know when I sold the tailings through the P menu, it was 0, but it could be like just less than $1. So I'm curious if we get any money at all for the tailings. I guess this is high enough. We might not actually need an up. I do a snap build. Yeah, let's just stick it over here. I just need it so it falls in there. I'm gonna call that good enough. All right. How am I getting ruby ore down here? That's weird. I'm gonna put 10 and oops, mess that up. If there's a way to like tell it how many you want to split off, I don't know what it is. That would be excellent if we had that. So I want to do 10 tailings. I don't see the number going up, so I think we're done with the dirt. So if I turn this on, yeah, we got some XP, but I don't get any money for that. I got XP for something anyway. Oh, that may be from the processing. Yeah, so we don't get any money. So we might as well just dump it out on the ground. Alright, now we know. No money for that. Let's do a couple of those and we'll stick a chute on it. How much of a mess is that going to make? Oh, we're off of our land. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if we can pour tailings on the other guy's land. Can't chop the tree, but... Oh, that's going to make a massive pile, isn't it? Fun. And we can push it around with the bulldozer, maybe. Alright, I'll try to remember to keep an eye on that. Let's go put our coal sell point back, just in case we do want to sell coal again someday. And we should be able to snap that on. I had that set up so it could snap. Right there. There we go. Beautiful. I guess I should go up my new ladder or my new stair set. There we go. And I need to figure out a color for that as well. We go throw the tree logs in the workbench and we'll get back to scooping. Let's see, I got 6 of those. I can make 3 beams. Then we're going to do the rest as those. We'll get those chugging away. Those chugging away. Alright. Back to scooping. So we're definitely going to need some coal. I think we'll go hit the main seam here for a bit. About ready for another blast. This has been a nice coal seam. We've pulled a lot of coal out of here. Alright, that kind of worked. Wasn't quite a full snoot full, but got most of a bucket. Yeah, I really wish we had like better electrical control. So when I'm just digging coal, it'd be nice to only power, you know, a small part of the plant. We don't need the whole entire plant. Maybe we'll get that someday. A little better control over everything. You could design a plant with, like, you know, storage buffers and control it all that way, and then just knock like a little 2-meter piece out to cut off power. That's a lot of work. Or have it set up with the, you know, individual power inputs. You turn them all on and off. But it's just kind of a pain to run around turning everything on and off all the time. There we go. Nice big scoop. That's what we like to see. And I should go grab some coal. Let me dump this and I'll go. I should have grabbed coal while I was down there. Grab some coal for the power plant before we run out. Maybe to use my new stairway. Look at that. Woohoo! Alright, there we go. Perfect. We'll grab that. And yeah, I don't know how the... Can you get ruby ore from gravel? Maybe that's what's happening. Do you think the froth floater would send that out the right output? I'm not sure how I got ruby ore in there. We'll send that back through. Hope it ends up where it needs to go. I'm going to go turn the tailings off, actually. Turn off. There we go. So that's interesting that we ended up with ruby ore. Not sure about that. As we go look at froth floater. I'll just say everything else. I didn't think you could get, maybe you can get rubies and diamond ore from the gravel. I don't know. I have to run some experiments. We'll see if any more show up once I throw some more gravel through there. That was a decent amount of ruby ore, so I don't know, maybe I just stuck it in there and forgot about it. Alright, maybe about time for some more boom booms. Get some of that coal down there where we can get to it. Might be a little bit of a shorter video. I'm trying to get this done before work. Recording this on a Monday to be next Monday. I think it's next Monday's video. I'm going to be out of town, so trying to get recorded ahead of time. Keep the flow going. Yeah, let's go ahead and do some boom boom real quick. If I hop out, these used to keep rolling when you hopped out. It looks like they automatically park now, which kind of makes the parking brake redundant. Alright, turn our flashlight on. It was about 3 million candle power flashlight. And let's get some of this blasted down here. Scroll my scroll wheel all the way out. I think we got that as far out as it'll go. So let's put some along this edge here. Oh, not quite reaching that. There we go. You can tell if I reach that or not. Fire in the hole. I don't think I quite reached that. Might have to go up top to do some of this blasting. Alright, let's see if we can get that down. And we'll get that down. There we go. Not too bad. Yep, can't reach it. We'll blast it. Can't quite reach. You can reach that. That's just going to leave a blob out in the middle of the air. It's kind of hanging off of there. Let's try that. Some more of that down. It's just kind of building up right here. That blasted down. It's kind of expensive, but it is fun. I wish I could look all the way up. I don't know why that's a thing. It makes it such a pain. There we go. Got some of that down. Man, that's ugly. I have to get up top at some point and clean that up a little bit, but we got some stuff down here we can dig into now. And did I throw the coal in the power plant? I sure didn't. I think that's still just sitting in my inventory, doing no good at all. Didn't I grab some coal? Oh, did I run that through like an idiot? Forget the stairs. I did. I think I just ran that through like a dum-dum. I was clicking stuff and I probably just clicked on it. There we go. Never have submitted that sound bug as a bug. I don't know if anybody would care but me. Super scooper. Got a fair amount of dirt that came down with that as well. Let's see if we can get just the just the coal and the pay dirt. Wonder if I could get the dozer up top. Could maybe push some of that overburden away, I'm not sure. I don't know how the physics would work, or the ground deformation. If I took a dozer up there and tried to shove some of that down, it might just build out a shelf underneath me. Yeah, we got some pay dirt in there, so we'll scoop this. We'll do a little more scooping, and I think we'll do a clean out. We're doing all right in the money department. It just takes a lot of time to process all that steel into sheets. You go dig some copper. That's where the real money is. That copper sells for a lot. But I didn't want to just keep going underground. We'll mix it up a little bit. Don't really like making the same video over and over again. Although there is a lot of this. This is fun though. I find this very relaxing. Thanks, autosave. Terraforming locked. Indeed. Well, that's probably a good time to do a clean out and call it quits. What you got for me? Nothing. Alright, cool. We definitely got some ruby and diamond ore in here. And some silicon. So we'll grab that. I'm not going to mess with the steel at the moment. Okay, so we got Diamond, we got 86, so we'll make that a 43. And then what we got for ruby ore, we got 184. All right, we'll do a 70, or sorry, a 92. Those percolating. Let's check on our wood blocks. There we go. Very nice. Let's put all of the beams in there. We can make one more wood block. Lovely. Alright, let's grab some sheets. As you can see, I've got a ton of steel processing. So I just periodically come over here and grab my sheets. We can get some silicon going, except I don't have any coal on me, do I? Nope. Let's go grab some coal. Whee! Down our new stairway. That is pretty handy. I don't really need all that. Well, screw it. Let's get all the steel processing we can. Actually, since I don't have the lights on, I'll just turn this back off for now. Rather than burning up lots of fuel. That one down there is off as well. Cool. Alright, you can make some rubber. And then if I grab the steel out of here, we do have a decent amount of steel in there. That one is pretty well full. That one's pretty well full. I think these back two, yeah, these back two can use some more. Throw another full one on you. A couple more full ones on you. Still got a decent amount of steel, don't we? Alright, let's load it up. Load them all up. Alright, you're not full and you're not full. So we'll do that, and we'll do that. Oops. And let's see, you're not a full run, you're not a full run. There we go. We got everything full and we still got 2,000 steel left. So we'll be letting that percolate. And I'll just throw that in there for safekeeping. And then we got 50 grand worth of steel sheets. We got 14.5 grand worth of gold. There we go. Bringing in the monies. So that's the way I ended up redoing that. Pretty happy with it. It's a little tight, but everything's fairly compact. And it all works. So I think that'll do it for this one, folks. I need to get off here and get some breakfast and get ready for work. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks as always for watching, and take care.